think a lot of people can agree with me that Awaken the Giant Within was a book that changed their life in some way or another. It was one of the first self-development books of the century that showed people they were bigger than what they believed. So I want you to imagine a man named Josh who works at a 9-to-5 job every day that he hates, always complaining to his coworkers that the world sucks and claiming that there's no way for anyone in his position to escape the life he has. Every night he wastes his money at the bar while complaining to everyone about how bad the economy is and there's no hope in the world. Then I want you to imagine another man who's in the same position as Josh. We'll call him Alan. Even though he doesn't like his job either, he's not constantly complaining or thinking about it. He sees it as an experience that's necessary for a future he wants. He doesn't see himself as someone who will be forced to work at his 9-to-5 job forever. He doesn't waste his money by buying things he doesn't need. Instead, he stays home every night to save money and work on his business. He sees a bright future ahead of him where he owns a company that's even greater than the one he works at now. Now, which man would you rather follow? The one who constantly complains about how horrible the world is, or the one who accepts reality for what it is but plans to make a change? And that's where Tony Robbins' first point, unleashing your power, comes into play. A lot of people know what they need to do to become successful, but never take the action to get there. They imagine starting a business they always dreamed about since they were a child, but do nothing more. They imagine writing a book, but never even bother to start the first page. Which is why Tony Robbins says you need to be a master of what you can control. Sure, you can feel angry or upset about any situation, but it's not going to do anything productive. You have the power to change your emotions by telling yourself it's not the end of the world. It's your positive energy that sparks a burst of energy inside you. If you work at a job you hate like Alan, don't see it as an outside prison. View it as a necessary burden before you go to greater things. Try to see more of the positive side of anything than the bad. It's easy to complain when life doesn't go our way, but do you really think it's going to help? Honestly, ask yourself that question. And a way to think more positive about yourself is to take care of your health by eating the proper nutrition and exercising. Share your success with others despite how small they are. Buy things that you actually need rather than wasting on objects that can momentarily distract you. Be a master of your time because that's the one currency everyone has equally. It's your decisions and not conditions that determine your destiny. Stephen Hawking could have easily given up when his body started to fail him, and everyone would have easily accepted that. But he remained mentally strong and continued doing what he believed in. Steve Jobs could have given up when he was booted out of his own company and just lived off his money for the rest of his life. But he started another company and raised that to the top. And to master your outcomes, you must control your daily decisions. Every day, people make excuses that they never have the time to sit down and change their life. They complain that life is unfair and they wish they were young again so they could start all over. But these are just the same people who would rather watch 5 hours of television than read a single page. That's 5 hours you could have spent learning how to code, paint, or even dance. If you're wondering what you should watch on television, turn it off and read a book because chances are you'll just watch some random television show to fill your time. If you're bored in the house, invest in the time to learn a new skill. And I get it. Humans would rather avoid pain and have pleasure. Watching Netflix is always going to feel more relaxing than reading an investment book because it requires less effort for the brain. But the way I stay motivated to read through those type of things is because I link the pleasure part of my brain that knows knowledge is important. It's knowing that although I can catch up on that new television show on Netflix, I can use my new marketing skills to raise sales in my business by 300%. Which is what Tony Robbins emphasizes. Think of it like working out at a gym. For the average person, they're not going to honestly admit they'd rather sweat and exhaust themselves versus eating a big bowl of ice cream at Dairy Queen. Which you link the idea if you continue working out at the gym, you'll be healthier than you were ever before. For me, I like to think of it as eating a double bacon cheeseburger versus a plate of vegetables. I love burgers, but I know it'll be bad for me in the long run if I keep a habit of eating things like that every day. It's small decisions like eating the right food, how we move our body, and what decisions we make every day that influence our future. Your emotions are created by motion. Your thoughts convey to what you say out your mouth. Look at exactly what you have control over in your life because you're in charge of more things than you think. And the next part is taking control. I remember when I felt overwhelmed at work one day and didn't want to talk to anybody. I was exhausted and was on the verge of giving in to my anger completely. But after my friend spoke to me, she managed to convince me to first release a few angry thoughts I had in my head and then concentrate on accepting the situation for what it was. She reminded me how I managed to pick myself up in the past when things went south and I could pick myself up again. If you want to change anything about your life, you have to change how you feel because it will automatically change the way you act. But you can't tell yourself, okay, I want to be happy now. That's not how our minds work. You're not going to smile if you get fired from a job you love. You're not going to clap your hands and say, yay, if you lost your wallet. Don't search for happiness. Search for content and acceptance of the situation. Know that there is a solution, and freaking out about it isn't going to help. People live by a set of self-imposed rules that give them permission to feel good or bad. And what's worse is that most of the rules they give themselves are designed to make them feel bad or guilty. For example, when I was in school, I always thought it was the end of the world if I ever received a grade on my report card or test. I didn't even accept B's. I placed a lot of my happiness upon what my grades were because I used to believe that was my future. And although the benefit of creating strict rules for yourself can push you to work harder, it'll destroy your self-esteem if you failed one day. It's like being placed as a bomb tester that pays well, but can end your life anytime if one of the bombs you tested were defective. Instead, set more positive rules in your everyday life. For every page you read, feel positive and great about it because not too many people have that natural urge anymore. Every time you take a walk outside or exercise, reward yourself by just knowing you're improving your health bit by bit. If you're trying to open a business, just be happy with every bit of knowledge you gain every day in it. And the last point Tony Robbins conveyed is a lesson in destiny. Live your life to the fullest. Experience everything and have fun. Enjoy the process as you head towards the lifestyle you want. A thing I see every day are people who get excited to start a business or a blog, but when it doesn't go well as they want, they give up and resume their regular life. Think as you did when you were a child. When you failed at something, it only made you want to try harder to prove to the adults you were a big boy or girl. You're not designed to work a job from 9 to 5, go home, watch television, and repeat again. You're designed to experience life, see what your potentials are, help other people, and turn your dreams into a reality. The small decisions people make every day create their destiny. If they watch reality TV shows and eat TV dinners, they're setting the future towards that direction. If someone is studying and taking action on what they read, they're setting the future towards that direction. So ask yourself every day if what you're doing is leading you towards the direction you want to be at. Happiness isn't getting $1 million. It's the process of seeing your business build up day by day, cent by cent. It's watching what used to be tens of customers, now thousands of customers who love your product. Yes, you're going to fail and make mistakes, but those are experiences you should love rather than hate, because it builds wisdom on what not to do when you do reach a higher point in the future. Never concentrate on the end results because it shouldn't matter. You don't watch a movie just to see the ending. You watch it for the entire story. There's a quote that Nadine Stair says that really stands out to me, and it goes, "If I had my life to live over again, I dare to make more mistakes than next time. I'd relax. I'd limber up. I'd be sillier than I've been this trip. I would take fewer things seriously. I would take more chances. I would take more trips. I would climb more mountains and swim more rivers. I would eat more ice cream and less beans. I would perhaps have more actual troubles with fewer imaginary ones. You see, I'm of those people who is sensible and sane, hour after hour, day after day. Oh, I've had my moments. If I had to do it over again, I have more of them. In fact, I tried to have nothing else, just moments, one after another. Instead of living so many years ahead of each day, I've been one of those persons who never goes anywhere without a thermometer, a hot water bottle, a raincoat, and a parachute. If I could do it again, I'd travel lighter than I have. If I had lived my life over, I would start barefoot earlier in the spring and stay that way later in the fall. I would go to more dances. I would ride more merry-go-rounds. I would pick more daisies." And that's Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins.